Alright, welcome everyone, Nexus Gaming Series. I have a good one for you, but the draft actually just started. As we move here into Cursed Hollow, it's going to be House of Chez versus the One Tricks in B East. Taking a look at how we got here. First, just a quick look at the standings. And I can take off the little message now. So right now, the One Trick sitting at 3 points. Tricky Gooses did defeat House of Chez. So House of Chez currently at 0-2. They're going to face a tough opponent here in the One Trick, so we're going to see how this match goes. Taking a look, we saw the One Tricks ban out Volskaya and Tomb. So want to avoid those like super kind of brawly maps and looking maybe more at macros. We see them pick Cursed Hollow. House of Chez won the toss, chose to go with first pick. So now moving back into the draft, you see the ETC ban and the Li Ming ban, and you know, ETC is definitely a top tier hero at this point. Li Ming a bit more interesting. You don't tend to see it as much. Taking a look at the stats, hoping they'll pull up. Sometimes the first couple times of the night they take a little longer, but they soften up. Sylvanas also going to be banned out, but of course there is the Zul ban, which we figured would come. No one wants to let Zul through. So Joanna, gonna be the first pickup here. Last season, Joanna, really the highest participation hero in the game. Don't normally think of first pick Joanna on this map. Wave clear is valuable, but more camp clear is rather important. Camp clear, boss clear. She does bring the wave clear, but also she can have a hard time engaging into the enemy, as a lot of these fights can turn into poke wars. Whereas there's a much more aggressive comp out of the side of the One Tricks, jumping into the Greymane Dahaka. A lot of potential to get onto that back line. Falstad, though, countered, so getting some global out onto the field, as well as some camp clear. And there's the boss control, too, potentially with the Mighty Gust, albeit it can be a bit tricky to pull off. I love the Malfurion pick. I think Malf is arguably the second best healer in the game right now. I think because of the way the game currently is, where usually it's a post-level 20 fight that decides the game. I think Rhaegar is actually the best healer at the moment because of Bloodlust. But Malfurion is extraordinarily strong. Mephisto going to get banned out. It's something we've seen House of Chez play. It's also something that Mephisto's popularity has increased rather significantly of late, so makes sense to see the ban there. I can't remember how many Mephisto games I saw last week. It was a lot, though. 2 picks to come here ban coming here. They ban out a healer, or they maybe ban out a tank. I'd expect a tank control ban. Mal'Ganis, maybe. No, they're going to take off Lunara, which is a surprise because when I see a Lunara, I kind of want a Malfurion, provided that there's someone I can reliably hit with Moonfires. Joe is that someone. If the whole team's mobile, yeah, you don't really want to deal with Lunara on a mouth, but I just kind of surprised that was the ban direction they went with. So, yep, there's Stukov. We expected to see that. Key is a longtime Stukov player, and a very talented one at that. We also see the Mal'Ganis. Now, if the team is patient enough, this can be a ton of root combos post-13. Malfurion can cleanse out the root from Stukov, but the target will still be silenced. The removal, and it's not a true cleanse, it's not an unstoppable, just a removal. Does remove the cleanse, but it will not remove the silence. Thrall and Orphea. Little bit of a softer front line here with the Thrall. Not as bulky as some, relies a lot on self-sustain. I think, though, there is potential to blow up the Mal'Ganis. If he tries to dive too hard, you could root. Sundering is an option as a way to just kind of counteract specifically Mal'Ganis. Haven't really seen Orphea much lately. She feels like she's fallen off a bit. Kel'Thas, also haven't seen as much with Jaina gaining popularity, but still a powerful healer, or powerful damage dealer, excuse me, that if kind of left alone, or if not really specifically paid attention to, Can be strong. It's also strong into the Malfurion, as it makes sure Pyroblast gets value. Malfurion doesn't have an option to really save someone who gets low until level 16, when he can get Moonlit Harmony and really crank out the heals at that point, provided he's doing his maintenance heals well. So with this series, just on paper right now, House of Chez kind of came in. A lot of people admittedly had lower expectations for them in Division B East. On the other hand, One Tricks, their kind of expectations of them are sometimes high, sometimes low. Currently, I have them as a playoff team in my power rankings. 7th or 8th, I can't remember which. I think they absolutely have potential to move up. I just need to see them beat some good teams. I thought Phoenix Rising Emerald really had a weak game against them. But that said, I think they're still undefeated. Can't say the same for my team. So it's definitely a team that I have my eye on. Want to see how they do. House of Chez, though, if they win this, season's right back on track. So we're going to get into the game in just a second. Looks like people loading up. As we get ready to introduce our two teams.
Prepare yourself for battle, heroes.
And on the left side, it is going to be House of Chez. Let's go ahead and introduce them. We're going to have Flash on Falstad, Caribou on Malfurion, the Dude on Orphea, Ridley on Joanna, and Chesmix on the Thrall. On the right side, One Tricks. A little bit more of a modern comp, I think, for this meta. We're going to have Key on Stukov, Chez going to be on the Kael'thas, Rise Robin on Dahaka, Kotip on the Greymane, and Royal going to be on the Mal'Ganis. Taking a look at those level 1 talents as we follow One Tricks into the mid lane. All 5 here in the mid lane. Wanted to get ahead in these rotations. And Key actually has been taking this level 1 talent a lot. Reactive Ballista Spores. So the point of Reactive Ballista Spores is that basically if you drop below 50% health, it resets your cooldown of trait. He's always been a big fan of that talent. I personally haven't. I've seen where it gets value, certainly. But I just, the weighted pustule, I forgot that's an important part. It drops weighted pustule on nearby heroes. It's great for helping you get away. It's great for kind of countering a dive. The enemy team doesn't have a ton of dive, but, Chez is still a fantastic Stukov player. I'm not questioning his build. I just always like to point out where the differences are. I think Stukov's one of the healers that still just has a ton of viable builds. But not going Mana Addict on the Kael'thas. Going with the Fel Infusion. Trying to get that extra little bit of damage out. As well as kind of just a tiny amount of self-sustain. Not a lot. But we are seeing Dahaka go with that tankier build rather than the mobility. Well, on the left side, Falstad going with Seasoned Marksman. So, not one you see a lot for the team fighting potential. Would expect him to go with the auto attack at 4 as well for the self-sustain. Maybe into Giant Killer, though I question how much Giant Killer will get done into the... I mean, Dahaka has a big HP pool. Mal'Ganis has a decent HP pool. Mal'Ganis, though, mostly relying on self-sustain. But so far, Siege Camp has been picked up by House of Chez. On the other side, Bruiser Camp was picked up by the One Tricks. And it's pushing in here mid now, so a big commitment. Leaving Kael'thas top to defend against Thrall. Not a great lane matchup long term, but probably a good way to deal with those Siege Giants. Key silencing the gate, kind of a harder strategy to do now, though, because if you try to silence behind the gate, the towers are going to end up shooting you when anyone takes damage. So, it's a change that has definitely affected Stukov's kind of more cheesy, annoying tactics. Looks like we're going to see a Bruiser Camp picked up here by House of Chez, while Key and Kotip have rotated in to grab One Trick Siege Camp. Siege Camp gonna push in the opposite lane, and I like what I saw from the One Tricks here. As we do see actually Vigorous Reuptake. I'm a big fan of Vigorous Reuptake on Stukov, especially if you pair it with something like Targeted Excision. Can be extremely powerful. But The key strat that One Tricks use there that I like is they recognize, okay, the first objective is top. Let's get Siege Camp to push against that, so let's actually grab our Bruiser first and use the Bruiser to get some tower damage. It's a good strategy to use. Kel'Thas, by the way, still actually hanging up here against Thrall and doing alright. The fact that Kel'Thas can dish out a fair amount of damage range, helping him out there. Bruiser Camp, though, now being pushed in. Siege Camp's still pushing up bottom, and Flash actually quite low. So really having to play rather safe. But, I mean, you can see his tower is just absolutely getting trunked out right now. And there's the Boomerang. That is certainly going to help Flash with getting that wave clear up, as Boomerang, one of the better wave clear tools in the game. Zugov going with the Growing Silence. My one that will work well, I think, with the Dahaka. It doesn't work great with the Mal'Ganis because damage interrupts his stuns. But so they don't have a ton of control. I think be great with the Kel'Thas. But speaking of Kel'Thas, just rotated to objective, I think, before the rest of the team. Great aggression there by House of Chez, kind of recognizing, you know, that they had Chez fairly dead to rights there. That said, One Trick still want to take this 3v3. Thrall about to rotate in, make it a 3v4, but here comes Dahaka 4v4. Falstad having to walk top. No, it looks like he's about to fly. Here he comes. So Falstad's going to make this a 4v5 in just a second. Royal in a ton of trouble. Needs to start backing this one up. And looks like now that Kel'Thas is back up, maybe they can push this. Stukov ran down to tap, but now he's here, and Stukov does have the better long-term sustain. The issue is, will he get people up in time? And no, he won't. Kotip, unfortunately, going to drop there. Unfortunate that is for the One Tricks. Not for House of Chez, though, who win a very difficult objective. That is typically not an objective you will see the left side team win. Now heading down to the bot, you can see Dahaka gonna just go back to soaking. He's already up to 6 stacks on his tissue regen. That's gonna be quite handy as far as the self-sustain goes. Falstad gonna clean up the rest of this. You can see, I mean, Rise Robin's health regen is already quite fantastic. Right away, though, One Tricks, they're gonna move into this boss. They're gonna give up the objective, presumably, to do it. And Dahaka actually rotating top now. I think they're anticipating, no, I think he's just come to help. They're anticipating leaving Dahaka top with the boss. Maybe trying to push another lane. Second objective, though, picked up by House of Chez as they start their boss. Now, Dahaka did walk up, so presumably he has his burrow available. And here comes the One Trick. They're looking for this fight. Falstad gonna gust them right into the boss. There's the Earthquake, and Mal'Ganis is just getting shredded. My goodness, what an amazing gust there by Flash. Cheeky AF, barrel charge right over the wall into the boss, and Flash making an early candidate for play of the game there. Right into the boss stun, completely locked down Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis is just hard countered by CC. Because his self-sustain is so high, the trade-off is that his HP pool. Me talk good tonight. HP pool. Because of that, Mal'Ganis does rely on his abilities, and when he gets stunned, he can be blown up so fast, as we saw there. Here comes the engage, though. Silence onto Orphea. Sleep coming in. Orphea was under towers, does get lit up. Towers OP, and now the chase is on. Maybe looking for Ridley. No, they're going to peel back for the boss now. I haven't actually talked too much about the level 10s yet. We got the Massive Shove. We got the Carrion Swarm. Phoenix rather than the Pyroblast into the Malfurion. Cursed Bullet, and then Isolation. So, fairly standard there. Massive Shove, you know, is pretty much an equal competitor with Flailing Swipe. Normally into a team like they have, I think I'd prefer Flailing Swipe, but that's a me thing, and certainly there's nothing wrong with going Massive Shove, especially if you can just shove Joanna out of the fight, maybe get onto the back line. On the other side, Mighty Gust, Twilight Dream, Bless Shield, and Earthquake, all fairly standard. Mouth and Thrall really can always go either way, but the Devouring, or the Eternal Feast, is actually the surprising ultimate pick for me, although obviously paid massive dividends with the CC chain we saw there on the boss on bottom. And really just smart heads-up play there by Flash. Normally you think like, oh, I want to save Gust to secure boss, and you can get kind of tunnel visioned in on that idea, but took a really good engage with that Gust, and now the One Tricks, they find themselves down about half a level here. 4-1 in kills. Next objective is a decider. It will be... looks like Falstad maybe wanted to look for another offensive Gust. Decided against it, saving it for the next objective. The next objective will decide who gets the first curse, and obviously it has a massive implication on who ultimately will win this game. Mal'Ganis kind of caught out by the rest of the team. Decides to host the slumber party. They just gathered around, they put on their PJs, they told ghost stories, but then it was night time. Royal wanted to look back in for this here. There's the tongue on the Thrall. Root combo from Stukov on the Joe. Thrall gets hit. There's a big Twilight Dream. Hits 4. Eternal Feast comes down. Stukov is going to get picked up by it. The Pyroblast, though, countering out the Eternal Feast. And that's going to take out Orphea. 2-for-2 trade, though, as Kael'thas goes down. But they do manage to find onto the Joanna. Now Flash just bodied to oblivion. And down he goes. And this will be One Trick winning the first objective. Winning the fight. 4 kills to 2. And really good fight there. Good job getting out of the Eternal Feast early to give yourself mobility. The problem with Eternal Feast, of course, is just the longer it's on the ground, the longer your zone. So you have to kind of take sometimes maybe bad positioning just to get out of it briefly in order to have better positioning later. And we saw that happen. Now pushing up mid, they have the Greymane. Greymane, though, very low and no healer. We're seeing retreat pings come in. Looks like they're going to maybe rotate away. Bottom lane is pushed up. Siege Giant cleaned up, though, by Falstad, so that'll give a chance for the lane to push out a bit. Royal looking for Flash, but too close to the wall, not going to be able to find too much. Greymane trying to get onto the wall now, but they got to be careful. They don't really see behind the wall. Now they do. The gate's down as they're going to get this bottom wall. Top fort, of course, fell as well in this, so all 3 forts down. But now, here comes the Gust. Flash once again, looking for that offensive Gust. Massive shove, doesn't hit. There's the Eternal Feast with the Earthquake. And Stukov simply can't get out of it. And he's going to go down, as is Greymane, as is Kael'thas. Twilight Dream on the Death Rattle Malfurion there. But Ridley is locking down this team. No, Chez needs to be careful. Royal trying to get the last trade. No, he doesn't. And that's going to be a 5-man team wipe. Or to quote Twixler, a 5-man team wipe. Really... Once again, just the Mighty Gus being the playmakers there, and that was just such a good combo. The Blessed Shield to set up the Earthquake, Eternal Feast, and, you know, even though they managed to get the turnaround kill, there's just not much you can do. That said, this is a very aggressive take here. Falstad is on his way top, but I don't know if Boss Steal is the best thing they can do on the map right now. I would say they'd almost get more value just getting their own camps into the lane. This is committing a lot for a denial, and it looks like One Tricks now. They want to take their own camp. They want to try to get vision control back. Top boss is going to push in. We'll see how much value it gets. The wall, though, still there. A 12-minute boss, so not exceedingly powerful. Let's see. It looks like One Trick are scouting out the enemy boss. This is a situation where you don't want to actually take it if you don't see the enemy team there. You maybe want to gank it. There's a good bush check there by Ridley. And root out. Good disengage there by House of Chez. And Kotip wanted to start the boss, but they're actually going to go ahead and break off this right now. Boss, meanwhile, top, is actually going to take this fort because nobody reacted to it. They're going to drop back and grab their Bruiser, send Greymane top. Bruiser going to get grabbed here. Good timing on the Bruiser camp, as well as the Siege camp on the side of House of Chez. It's going to because they're at 2 tributes, it's really going to make One Tricks decide after this camp, which, I mean, they're playing with time as it is, but do they want to defend the boss and the camps, or do they want to fight over this objective, knowing that if they give it up, they're going to face a curse? So, just neither door is great, kind of a lose-lose, so they're going to take the lose that maybe doesn't give the enemy team a game-winning curse. There's a cursed bullet onto Rise Robin, but he gets a big, vigorous reptake heal. Mighty Gust actually used defensively there, and very well. Ridley kind of double takes. Maybe he wants to go back in. Gonna pay for it, though, with Royal now in the chase. Has to blow the Bless Shield just to get away, so no curse yet for House of Chez. But Dahaka gonna take a ton of damage. Has to blow his Essence. Meanwhile, this top lane pushing in rather hard. Bruiser Camp kind of neutralized out in the mid lane, though. Boss still available on the map, but neither team, I think, really with their resources to take it right now, as House of Chez really relying on those Falstad Gusts to make big plays. Looks like, though, they're going to start on their boss now, while Falstad showing in the bot lane. Falstad, of course, could Gust to help secure the boss. One Tricks, what are they going to do? It looks like they're going to rotate down. They might get here in time. Gonna have to keep an eye on this. Royal does see that the boss is low. One Trick's gonna need to get some sense of urgency if they're gonna steal this. Great Malfurion route. It's gonna zone off, even if Mal'Ganis got through it. Zoned off the rest of the team. Now Mal'Ganis hesitate, and now just a good engage, though, all the same, in terms of burst damage to nuke down Thrall, but help just didn't come fast enough. Mal'Ganis dropped. And, good disengage there from Kotip. Next objective's up, though, and it's going to easily be grabbed here by the One Trick. So One Trick's back onto Curse Point. That said, now they have to deal with a boss pushing into their bot lane, so they're going to have to decide how they want to deal with this. Their siege camp is available, but the lane's starting to push House of Chez way. See how One Tricks wants to play this next objective. This next objective is on House of Chez side of the map, but it's not too bad to invade from the right side. It's not like the bottom left or top right shrine, where those have really kind of hard angles for the team on the opposite side of the map. Here, this one's almost neutral. The vision point tends to only help if it's in the hands of the team on the opposite side of the map. So we should get a pretty clean fight here. A lot of open space around this. You think that might play into helping out the Mal'Ganis comp, just because they don't have to worry about the choke point Twilight Dream or Earthquake or Malfurion route as much. Flash is looking for the flank there. Gets spot out by Rise Robin, but Rise Robin just missing the tongue. There's an engage looking like onto the Orphea. Didn't really get the combo. Mighty Gust is actually completely isolating out Mal'Ganis, but now House of Chez is kind of disengaging this, and there's a big 4-man sleep with the level 20 talent, and that's going to be all the One Tricks need. Going to be invulnerable snap pick there by Joanna to stay alive for the time being. But One Tricks gets 2 big kills there. They now have Greymane channeling, and they get their second curse of the game. And this might be enough to end the game. I like the idea that Falstad had with the Mighty Gust there of trying to isolate out Mal'Ganis, but just not recognizing that post-20 Carrion Swarm talent. If he recognized that and doesn't Mighty Gust, saves it maybe for after the sleep and just backs up, I think he's fine. But there, the sleep really just set everything up that the One Tricks wanted. Now, they're going to start cleaning up keeps. They got top and mid. Are they going to head bot, or are they going to look for the core kill? 14 seconds, Falstad will be up with that Mighty Gust. He did, of course, take the level 20 upgrade on that Gust, so it's something they need to watch out for. Mal'Ganis, once again, looking for the sleep. There's the gravity lapse onto Ming. A disengaged Bless Shield there, and Mal'Ganis actually going to be rooted. He's going to go down, but the core down to 5%, down to 0. Catapults doing a ton of damage there. And so the One Tricks going to take game 1. Very back and forth game. Looked like House of Chez early, especially off that bottom 5-man wipe looked like they might be able to get control of the game, but never captured a curse token again. As a result, they find themselves down now 1-0 in the series, but putting up a good fight all the same. Looking at the stats, you can see healer's fairly even, but damage, Orphea, there you can see, I mean, damage isn't everything. Like, Orphea did a ton of damage, but it's not about what the damage is, it's about what it's being done to. And you can see Greymane, with his damage, was getting kills with it quite significantly. Actually, though, House of Chez winning the kill count, but when it came down to the critical moments, it just seemed One Trick always had a way to keep the game alive, and they're going to take game one. So we're going to set up here for game two. We'll be right back, everyone. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everyone. Next is Gaming Series. DB Smiley here, bringing you this matchup between House of Chez and One Trick. House of Chez had some good combos, a couple really big gust plays early in the game, mid game, in between 10 and 13. But at the end of the day, House of Chez was just unable to win the critical curse point fights. They missed in that case, 4 tokens in... Actually, no, 5 tokens in a row, which led to 2 curses on the side of the One Tricks, ultimately ending the game. Gonna see if they do better here. This map, gonna be Towers of Doom. This is definitely a late game oriented map, but structure kills really important. You need something that can kill structures. Anymore, because of the tower changes, it's incredibly difficult to retake bottom structure if the enemy team takes it and is committed to defending it. Even harder than it used to be, and it was hard before. So we're going to, though, hop right into the draft. And there we go. House of Chez versus One Tricks. Game 2, One Tricks looking to close out the series with a domination. Would be their second in a row after dominating Phoenix Rising Emerald last week. House of Chez, meanwhile, looking for their first map win. They lost 0-2 to Tricky Gooses last week. Trying to find something. In order to kind of build from this season. Gonna be the ETC ban. Sticking with that, not wanting to give that up to the members of the One Tricks. On the other side, do we maybe see the Falstad ban? You can expect the One Tricks will have to be the team to ban out Zool here. No, they're going to stick with the Ming ban, not wanting to give that hero up. So, might see the same bans. It's the exact same fans so far. Nothing has changed yet. If that stays the same, it's going to be the Zool ban. Joanna was very quickly picked there. House of Chez, they are going to stick with the Zool ban. Do they go with the Joanna again? This map definitely can be good with Joanna because of the power of Bless Shield in some of the choke points. You can get the enemy grouped up into a Bless Shield, but yeah, I mean, I don't hate the Joanna pick at all. Can be vulnerable to dive, though. And as we saw there, when Mal'Ganis was able to get onto the back line and sleep everyone post-20, it was something that they really had a hard time dealing with. Greymane Falstad, so kind of a pseudo-denial there, I think, of the Gus. Kotip sticking with that Greymane that was played really well in the last game. Chez is going to jump on to the Falstad to deny the Gus. We're going to see Flash say, all right, well, I'll just break out my Mephisto. It was banned out in the last game. Hard to know if that was targeted or just the rising prevalence of Mephisto. Mephisto can stall out the objective very well here. Leoric, actually very strong on this map for the double soak, for the fact that you're very probably going to get the 20, and you can use Entomb to make some big plays. Doesn't have the most siege damage, but can definitely push a wave. Ban coming in, we saw Anna banned out, so denying the Mephisto Nano cheese that's often seen. I think if they were going to go that route, I think they would have picked Anna earlier. Might be seeing something Caribou used to play a lot, Ariel. I wouldn't actually hate that pick here. There's a lot of chance for wallbangs. Anubrak going to be banned out. So they're not banning out the Mal'Ganis. They're still more worried about dive. Which leads me to believe that we might see another rather squishy backliner. So Mal'Ganis Stukov, once again, same 2 picks that we saw Royal and Keon in the last game. A lot of these players, by the way, have been around NGS for quite some time on the One Tricks, so... they're living up to their team name so far in this series. There's the Malfurion, and there's the Maiev. That actually makes sense, getting rid of Anub'arak. That way there's no Cocoon onto Maiev when she dives in, or Cocoon onto Mephisto when he dives in. The Cocoon can be quite detrimental to Mephisto's health. I love the Malfurion Maiev combo, and Maiev, it's a hero that, when played well, is utterly dominating. So we're going to have to
My
see if it gets played
blades
at that
are
quality.
yours.
We have the next change, so two hero changes on the side of the one tricks. Sonya going to be picked up rather than the Dahaka, which, you know, on this map, Dahaka I think is good. I think there's a lot of good bushes, but Sonya is definitely going to bring a lot of damage, and most importantly, a ton of structure damage. There's between the Greymane and Sonya, they can just take a structure. So when they get kills, we're going to see the one tricks get a lot more value off of it. The pick nature of House of Chez is going to need to come through and limit those opportunities for the one tricks, because if they manage to get, say, 3 kills, they're going to take bot keep. So, 1 second here, just letting a kitty out of the bathroom. He was being bad. He was fighting with brothers, so I had to separate him. Here we go. Gonna jump into the match. Based on draft, I would say that I like the draft of both teams. I would normally not like a Stukov with the kind of comp that One Tricks has. I'd like to see something like a Rhaegar, but I also recognize, I mean, it's a hero's strength of keys, so there's, of course, nothing wrong with that. But we're going to go ahead and move into our game here. And going to go ahead and introduce the teams. On the left side, House of Chez, it's going to be Flash on the Mephisto, Caribou on Malfurion, the Dude on the Maiev, Ridley on Joanna, Shezmix on Leoric. And on the right side, the One Tricks, living up to their name, 3 repeat heroes here. Key once again on Stukov, Siege on that foul side, Rise Robin on Sonya, Kotip on the Greymane, and Royal is going to be on the Mal'Ganis once again. Level 1 talents. Taking a look right now. Stukov, same with the same thing. We are seeing a Bribe build out of Falstad. Can be good on this map, but you could run into a problem sometimes where you have stacks, but there's no camps to dump them. But already a pretty aggressive engage. Mal'Ganis, though, is actually quite a bit low at the moment, having been pulled by Mephisto. Now Rise Robin taking a ton of damage from Mephisto. So right out of the gate, we're seeing some value from that Mephisto. And one of the things you don't typically want to do with Mephisto is run in a straight line away. And we're seeing that right now as Kotip taking a ton of damage there. And Mal'Ganis trying to set up some kind of re-engage. Kotip really too low to follow back up. 4v4 down here in the bottom. It looks like you're going to see a slight lead in rotations here for the One Trick. Sonya has actually gone mid. Mephisto rotated up mid from House of Chez to get that soak as well. So Leo going to try to double up this wave. But doing a good job actually passively denying the XP globes, although not picking up some XP globes of his own there. Gotta be careful with that. Looks like we're seeing the aggressive invade on the menu. Mephisto's in a little bit of an awkward spot here, but can't really follow up yet. But now Flash separate out from the rest of the team. Joanna trying to front, but this camp is actually still fairly healthy, and now with Mephisto in the mid lane, this could belong to the One Tricks. If Mal'Ganis can get on a point, no, wasn't able to get on, just a little bit too late there. But Sappers walking in bot do take the tower, and so that is the first big Sapper volley of many I'm sure we'll see tonight. Mal'Ganis trying to enable an engage onto Ridley. There's a route there from Malfurion. Mephisto now coming in. Mephisto taking Spite, so getting some longer passive heal duration. Oh boy. As well as some CDR there. Looking once again at the engage. Nothing really coming up there. But yeah, the regen globes are going to actually, if you can get a regen globe right before a fight, it's going to keep his rotations quite low. Looks like we have a gank party. Let's see if Key got the invitation. Nope, Key, man, you gotta at least give the maybe, right? Maybe's a polite no. You can't just give the hard nope. So rude. Engage coming here in the bot, trade out in the top. Now tried to back channel, but had to break off because of the Mal'Ganis flank. Mal'Ganis flank setting up a big engage. The dude quite low, is back under towers. Now as the heal actually pulls Mal'Ganis under a tower. Key, though, in the back channeling, and it doesn't look like anyone on the side of House of Chez is going to be able to get in. No, Mephisto steps up and gets the big skull, and now Chesmix is on the back line with Key. Key has to blow his vigorous reuptake there to heal up from the Leoric, but that's actually going to cause Leoric to fall. But there's Maiev pulling 2 people out of route. Can they get the quick turnaround kill? Key once again on the back channel, but the health bars are just dropping so low on the side of House of Chez, and they're going to have to back that up. As Leo rotating away, wanting to spawn mid and just start on that soak. Rise Robin quite low, actually needs to be rather careful here. Good dodge on the Leoric W. Could have hurt if it landed. Meanwhile, One Trick's already grabbing their sappers. These sappers were picked up quite a bit later on the side of House of Chez, so those might become a fight here in a second. See how House of Chez decides. Are they going to try to get their own, or are they going to defend? Looks like they're going to defend. Mal'Ganis rotating in aggressively. Does get the sleep onto Joanna. Now a sleep onto Maiev. Maiev, though, trying to pull Royal away. Royal with the stun combo does potentially set up an engage, but damage just hasn't really followed up yet. Oh, Mephisto's low in the silence. Does manage to get out. Ridley trying to set up an engage, but now quite low himself, trying to get out of there. Mephisto comes in, doing a ton of damage, but gonna have to blink back, and low HP, and actually slow there from the Stukov, from the reactive Ballista Spores. There's a pull onto Royal. It's gonna give him a very slight armor debuff from those towers. Ridley trying to set up a re-engage. There's a sleep. Unstoppable on Joanna. The dude needing to use the vault to get away, but I don't know if he can. Huge root there from the Malfurion. Absolutely saved Maev's life, but it just looks like right now House of Chez just unable to win these damage trades. Even with the Mephisto, it's just too much poke coming out from the Falstad and from the Greymane. Well, as, you know, Mal'Ganis not doing too bad of damage himself. Mal'Ganis actually second highest damage on the team right now for One Tricks. Going to be the top objective here, so we're going to zoom out. Looks like a trade, taking a look at those damage numbers. See, Mal'Ganis doing quite a lot at this point, but Greymane with 20k very early in the game to have a number like that.
Enough of this charade. Bring down the Gravekeeper's call.
Furion does have the cleanse to deal with the AoE silence. He just has to make sure to not beat, or not the AoE silence, excuse me, the AoE sleep. He just has to make sure to be not hit by it. Maiev actually getting a bit low there, as is Flash. Flash is going to blink out, but he's going to blink right back in, and he is going to go down. Now Royal trying to set up the re-engage here. Sonya on the flank. I don't know if they're going to be able to get another kill. Joanna does go to sleep. Didn't pop Iron Skin there, but 5v3 in the bot. Leo away soaking, trying to find level 10s. Now this is a very level 10 centered comp on the side of House of Chez, so we're going to see what they can do with it. 2 kills to 0 at this point. They're doing well to stick around, but they have lost their front wall. It's going to be the Twilight Dream in Tomb. Are we going to get the ISO, or are we going to get the Cage from Maiev? The question. Bless Shield, of course, from Joanna. Mephisto and Maiev still holding theirs. I would say that if you go, and it is going to be the Isolation Disc. Which I like that choice, because if you're going to go to Mephisto route, the ISO disc does not work great with that. Chesmix having to run away there from a gank. It's kind of some... It's just, you know, they're already stuck, and yeah, I guess you can get a lot of them stuck in the route, but typically if they're stuck together, the route will get that kind of value anyway. They do work well together. I just... It might be... You might want a little bit more damage if you're going something that route. But Mal'Ganis on the back line. Leoric kind of 1v4ing at this point, but he's actually going to go down. Leoric just not really with the rest of the team, and Mal'Ganis doing such a good job, but the health bars are low. Here comes the Hatred, doesn't secure a kill right away. Kotip does go down. Chez is low, but the members are so spread out on the side of House of Chez. Malfurion trying to get the heals out. Leoric's going to be back up soon, but Malfurion is slept. Here comes Chez onto the back. Offensive Gust actually may have saved Malfurion's life there. Maybe not the play they wanted. Stukov goes down instead. And now Rise Robin on the run from Maiev. Down here in the bottom, Chez trying to put on the jukes. Doing the best Bo Jackson impression that he can, but that is going to be the tribute picked up there, actually by House of Chez, who now take a 4-point lead on core damage. Not sure if that was the gusts they wanted there. I think they had Malfurion kind of dead to rights, and, you know, they just bailed him out a little bit. Meanwhile, Sonya, Leo, continuing to soak. Both teams on the race to 13. Always a big level for Stukov if he's going to go that root talent, which usually in competitive play you will see. Joanna going in now, trying to get onto Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis is going to get pulled back with Greymane. Actually, no, doesn't get pulled back, but there's a massive shove separating out the members, and now Flash needs to be careful. Mal'Ganis wanting this engage. Flash, though, is going to be able to get away. Royal using all his abilities to get in position. Once he's there, just didn't really have anything to follow up. Level 13's here, just a little bit earlier inside of House of Chez, as we see One Trick's going to go ahead and take their camp. A couple bribe stacks used. Mal'Ganis coming in. There's a big sleep. It's 3. Flash a little bit out of position, but should be okay. You know, Mal'Ganis just doing what Mal'Ganis does best, which is be really annoying and draw a lot of team fire that you can self-sustain through. Mal'Ganis is at his best when he's 1v4. That's when his self-sustain is going to do the most value. Sonya rotating down here, though, going to be a bit late. Now there, though, Chez makes a bit out of position, was looking for the Entomb, didn't find it. Mal'Ganis now going in, looks like the engage onto Ridley. Here comes Mephisto into the backline, trying to do damage. There's an Entomb root on, a root there on the Siege, the silence there, trying to disengage him. Health bar's low on both sides. The dude, though, could be the first to fall. There's a Twilight Dream, though, might enable this kill onto Sonya. No, it doesn't. There's the sleep from Mal'Ganis. Root coming in onto Stukov, trying to disengage this. Ridley is low. Flash on the backline, but now doesn't really have a path to escape. Mal'Ganis could help secure the kill. No, it looks like they're going to back off. Kotif channeling the point at this point and going to tie this game up. A very back-and-forth game once again in the early parts. But just seems like House of Chez just winning these trades. No one really getting a signature victory on this map. Nothing like we saw in Game 1 with some of the Gus plays from Falstad, or, you know, the Mal'Ganis sleep on top from One Tricks. No big kills, it's all one at a time. But those one are securing positional advantages, those positional advantages turning into core damage, and both teams now tied at 24. Sappers trying to be picked up, and they should get them. Ridley might need to blow Iron Skin. No, looking for the Blessed Shield, wants to re-engage. Mal'Ganis in the back, gets the sleep onto the Malfurion. There's the Isolation Hat onto Mal'Ganis, but Maiev still not able to get out. She's going to go down, and I don't know if that's the engage you wanted on the side of House of Chez. They didn't have the whole team there. Looked like they didn't have their ultimates ready. I think that's a point where you just pop Iron Skin and walk away. You got the Sappers, and by trying to get that, this is exactly what we talked about in the early game. Now, with those 2 kills, they can easily turn that, with this Sonya and Greymane, into a structure. And whoever wins the first structure, it's really hard to lose the game at that point. And this is the triple altar phase. This could turn into, I mean, in theory, as much as a 15-point swing. In practice, maybe, looks like Leo should be able to get top. I would expect this to be a 7-point swing. 10 points off the core of House of Chez, 3 points off the core of One Tricks. But no, it looks like they're going to hard engage here on bottom. Look for the fight. Once again, Mal'Ganis in the back. He's just going to keep doing this and be annoying. And I think you just have to say, okay, maybe the job's not to kill Mal'Ganis. What they're doing here is they're giving Mal'Ganis everything he wants. And now Shezmix is going to drop. You lost the trade. Twilight Dream, even if they get the kill on Mal'Ganis, though, at what cost? Malfurion goes down. Mal'Ganis still doesn't drop. Sonya can now go top with a 15-point swing. Mal'Ganis finally goes down, but I mean, this is what we talk about. You're playing into what the Mal'Ganis wants to do. He wants to be 1v5 on your backline, and by turning around and fighting him rather than pushing onto the exposed Stukov, you're playing One Trick's game for them. I know that seems weird, the isolated hero, but you really can't You really can't put all your attention into Mal'Ganis. He has too many tools to survive. You don't have enough stuns on the side of House of Chez to really body him like that. You have a root, you have a stun from Joanna, but I mean, all he has to do is wait out Condemn before he hits his Carrion Swarm, and he's fine. So you gotta just adjust away from that mindset of, you know, let's just kill the isolated hero. Because in this case, really, when Royal is up back here, you charge forward and take out Stukov. He can shove one hero away. He didn't go Flailing Swipe, so he's very, very vulnerable to getting engaged on. House of Chez looking for the flank. Once again, Royal just content to sit on the back line, trying to set up an engage of his own. Ton of structure damage, though. And now Falstad's here, too. They want to get these sappers in. Sonya coming in. There's the Wrath. Chesmix is low. He's going to drop. Twilight Dream trying to disengage this. Some sappers here have fallen in the meantime. Mal'Ganis gets the isolation hat. The dude, though, too low to go back in. Flash is below 100 health. He's going to have to back up. Now Ridley going to back away. Oh, and Maiev gets popped there, too. They did stop all the sappers from getting through, but they lost 2 heroes there. Now make that 3, and that's going to turn... Potentially, if they run mid now, this could be 6 core shots on the side of One Tricks. See what they're going to do. Are they going to be greed, or are they going to be safe? Looks like they're going to be safe. You know, very, very understandable here. You got the 2-level lead. They're actually going to... I don't like this call. This is greed. I think if you want to play the boss, you send Mal'Ganis up top to stall, and you keep the channel bot. So Falstad is going to channel bot, looks like. But this is a little greed, in my mind. Still, though, House of Chez was zoned off. And, actually, with the Mighty Gust, this game might already be over. You know, they're going to recognize the boss is there, but, you know, Maiev is going to just pretty much sit here on the point and eventually die, and that's it. That's game. So, was 24-24 once long ago. But One Trick's going to get the victory here on the core. Alright, so One Trick's going to take a domination victory in the series. The result I expected coming into the night. House of Chez, though, put up a good fight in the early parts of Game 1 and 2, but they need to figure out how they're going to turn that corner into the late game. It seemed like they were just losing a lot of trades late in the game both times. And, you know, I mean, you can do 80k damage all you want on Mephisto. But once again, I mean, Kotip just getting a lot more value with the damage that was done. So... credit to them. Unfortunately, no post-game tonight. I actually have to run upstairs and take care of something, but thank you all for watching, and have a great night. Just kidding. We're going to be doing a quick post game here with Chez of the One Trick. So, Chez, congrats on the win. How you guys feeling after that one?
Thank you. We feel good. I think we played a little bit sloppier than we like, but we got the win, and it feels good.
All right, and seems that something has gone wrong here with my player profile page. Uh, 1 second here. I see what I did wrong. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up your page for you so everyone can see all your cool stats and stuff, albeit from last season. Yeah, so game one, I mean, you guys had to deal with a couple of really big fights that you lost early, early mid game off the Mighty Gus plays. What do you think happened there?
Yeah. So the first one, I think they just got us. We'll give props to them. That was a good play. But I think we fell for the same thing 2 or 3 times after that, which is not what we like to see. Um, we definitely have to clean up what we were doing on that map. Um, but we stayed calm and we came back and we made it work.
Yeah, you guys won 5 straight curse tokens in order to set up, the first curse getting all the forts, second curse ultimately securing the game with all the core pressure you guys had. What I guess heading into game two, what was kind of your biggest takeaway? What was your biggest goal?
So we changed up draft a little bit. We decided to take away their
A
false dad
very
because
little bit, admittedly, but
because he kind of was giving us the
yeah.
business with the false dad. So
Hmm.
we took that away, and I think they didn't look as comfortable with the draft they got. I think
Hmm.
so. I think that was a big part of why that game went a lot better for us.
Yeah, and it looked like, I mean, the game was 24-24. It was mostly trading out. It seemed like when there was a fight, you were winning the damage trades, but there was
Yeah,
still enough back and forth. It was 24-24. What happened that took a game that was 24-24 and made it 0-24? What
yeah. So
would
I
you most
think
attribute it to? Good.
I think it was just we started winning team fights. Their initiations were a little sloppy. I think the Maev and the Joe didn't seem
Mhm.
to be on the same page quite. Um, yeah, and we
Yeah.
just we got a lot of value from Mal'Ganis sleeps.
Yeah, I definitely want to throw a shout out there to Royal on your team. I of course played with him a little bit last season. He was playing Mal'Ganis exactly how you want to play Mal'Ganis, which is 1v4, 1v5 in the enemy backline. And I think there
Yes.
was a lot of overreaction to Mal'Ganis throughout the game, but especially late, that really put you guys on a path to just take that game over. With that, the floor is yours for shoutouts.
Yeah, so shout outs to my team. It wasn't our best night, but we got through it. Shout outs to our coach, Chaotic. He helps us, he watches replays with us and tells us everything we're doing wrong. Shout out to you for casting us at the last second.
Yeah, happy to.
And I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me cast this one. Thanks for coming in for the post game, even though I was kind of back and forth on whether or not I had time to do it. I did. I got to run now, but thank you all for watching. Thanks for watching Nix's gaming series. Let me see who we need to kick it to as far as who is casting right now. I only want to send my audience to the best of games, and I think I actually found it. I think I found the one I want to kick it to. Here we go.